These 25 action-packed films will have you on the edge of your seat. Let's dive into the ultimate list of must-watch action movies that hit hard and never hold back. 1. John Wick, 2014. A retired hitman is forced back into the underworld after a group of thugs kill his dog, a final gift from his deceased wife. What follows is a ballet of brutal gun-fu, neon-lit assassinations, and intense close combat sequences. John Wick's relentless vengeance in the stylish world of assassins redefined modern action cinema. 2. The Raid: Redemption, 2011. This Indonesian masterpiece is a brutal, non-stop martial arts siege. An elite SWAT team storms a high-rise controlled by a ruthless drug lord, only to find themselves trapped. What unfolds is a relentless display of silent combat, bone-crushing fights, and claustrophobic tension that elevates violence to an art form. 3. Mad Max: Fury Road, 2015. Set in a desolate post-apocalyptic desert, this high-octane epic follows Max and Furiosa as they flee a tyrannical warlord in a souped-up war rig. Explosions, vehicular carnage, and sandstorm chases fuel this masterpiece of kinetic energy and raw aggression. 4. Django Unchained, 2012. Quentin Tarantino's brutal western follows Django, a freed slave turned bounty hunter, on a violent quest to rescue his wife. Stylized shootouts, over-the-top gore, and sharp dialogue make this film a blood-soaked revenge saga with a powerful emotional core. 5. Nobody, 2021. A mild-mannered suburban dad turns out to be a former government assassin, unleashing his violent side after a home invasion. With humor, brutal fight choreography, and Bob Odenkirk's surprising performance, Nobody is a fresh, explosive take on the one-man army genre. 6. Old Boy, 2003. A man is mysteriously imprisoned for 15 years, then released and given 5 days to find his captor. This South Korean cult classic is brutal, psychological, and unforgettable, especially the hammer hallway fight that remains iconic in cinema history. 7. Man on Fire, 2004. Denzel Washington plays a burnout ex-CIA operative turned bodyguard in Mexico City. After the girl he's hired to protect is kidnapped, his rampage for justice is ruthless and emotionally charged. Explosive revenge, emotional depth, and raw violence collide. 8. Rambo 2008. Sylvester Stallone returns as the iconic war vet, this time leading mercenaries into Burma to rescue missionaries. The violence is extreme, with limbs flying and machine guns roaring. It's the most brutal entry in the franchise. Pure, unfiltered carnage. 9. The Equalizer, 2014. Denzel Washington plays a quiet man with a mysterious past who takes on the Russian mob to protect a young girl. Every fight is precise and methodical, a storm of improvised weapons, slow-motion bloodshed, and poetic justice. 10. Upgrade, 2018. After a mugging leaves him paralyzed and his wife dead, a man is implanted with an AI chip that gives him superhuman abilities. The result is stylish and shockingly violent, a blend of sci-fi and martial arts that feels both futuristic and primal. 11th. 300, 2006. A stylized retelling of the Battle of Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans face thousands of Persian soldiers. Every scene is drenched in slow-motion blood, epic sword fights and graphic decapitations. A visually striking celebration of honor, violence, and rebellion. 12. Taken, 2008. Liam Neeson stars as a former CIA agent with a very particular set of skills who hunts down his daughter's kidnappers across Europe. It's fast-paced, violent, and driven by cold, calculated vengeance. A defining film of modern revenge thrillers. 13. Kill Bill, Volume 1, 2003. Uma Thurman's bride goes on a rampage of revenge, slicing through the crazy 88 in one of the bloodiest sword fights ever filmed. With Tarantino's flair for stylized violence and Eastern cinema homages, it's a violent, beautiful bloodbath. 14. Hardcore Henry, 2015. Shot entirely in first person, This Russian-American action film is like a violent video game come to life. Explosions, parkour, and endless gunfights keep your adrenaline high. It's chaotic, disorienting, and wildly entertaining in the most brutal way. 15. Sicario, 2015. A gritty, realistic look at the drug war along the U.S.-Mexico border. Emily Blunt, Josh Brolin, and Benicio del Toro deliver raw performances in a world filled with moral ambiguity and brutal ambushes. Violence here is sudden, shocking, and hauntingly real. 16. Face Off, 1997. John Travolta and Nicolas Cage face off, literally, in this over-the-top action film where an FBI agent and a terrorist swap faces. Directed by John Woo, it's packed with slow-motion shootouts, flying doves, and explosive action. Pure 90s chaos, where violence is both theatrical and personal. 17. Apocalypto, 2006. Mel Gibson's brutal depiction of the collapse of the Mayan civilization follows a young warrior fleeing for his life. The violence is primal. Heart-pounding chases, ritual sacrifices, and savage combat, all filmed with a raw, visceral intensity in the jungle. 18. Dredd, 2012. In a dystopian future, Judge Dredd must fight his way through a 200-story slum tower controlled by a drug lord. With slow-motion drug sequences and ultra-violent shootouts, this adaptation is gritty, stylish, and unapologetically brutal. 19. Bloodsport, 1988. Jean-Claude Van Damme stars in this cult classic about an underground fighting tournament. Each brutal match escalates in intensity, showcasing bone-cracking martial arts and over-the-top knockouts. It's sweaty, violent, and gloriously 80s. 20. Shoot 'em Up, 2007. A mysterious man delivers a baby in the middle of a gunfight and spends the rest of the movie trying to protect it, with an endless barrage of bullets. This film is cartoonishly violent, fast-paced, and full of wild stunts that parody and celebrate the action genre. 21st Extraction, 2020. Chris Hemsworth plays a black market mercenary on a rescue mission in Bangladesh. The film's centerpiece is a breathtaking 12-minute continuous action scene. Packed with brutal hand-to-hand combat and relentless gunfire, it's an intense, emotionally driven thrill ride. 22. The Night Comes for Us, 2018. This Indonesian action thriller is one of the most violent martial arts films ever made. Following a former triad enforcer trying to protect a young girl, the film features relentless bloodbaths, shattered bones, and brutal knife fights. Every scene pushes the limits of hand-to-hand combat, making it a non-stop symphony of carnage. 23rd Death Sentence, 2007. Kevin Bacon plays a father who takes revenge after his son is murdered in a gang initiation. What starts as grief turns into a spiral of violence, with vigilante justice pushing him to the edge. A gritty, emotional, and surprisingly dark film. 24. Desperado, 1995. Antonio Banderas stars as a guitar case-carrying gunslinger seeking revenge. Directed by Robert Rodriguez, it's full of bloody shootouts, over-the-top stunts, and stylized violence that feels like a modern western soaked in tequila and gunpowder. 25th Commando, 1985. Arnold Schwarzenegger goes full one-man army mode in this classic 80s action flick. With corny one-liners, massive explosions, and a ridiculous body count, Commando is pure testosterone-fueled mayhem. Violence so exaggerated it becomes its own genre. From bullet storms to blood-soaked revenge, these action films prove that violence can be just as thrilling as it is shocking. Which of these movies blew you away the most? Or did we miss one of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss more cinematic carnage coming your way. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and keep watching badass movies.